Hope everybody's doing okay. It's been a absolute crazy day today, especially when I made that video yesterday. Believe it or not, was it yesterday or the day before? Believe it or not, I was just looking at the chart, right? And I did get some notifications from a few news outlets. I had a few calls from a few friends. They've seen some social media stuff and they were like, dude, it's going to go down to 90k or something like this. Are we going to see the lower levels? I'm like, actually, no, the charts are saying we're going to go up. And here we are today. And I'm so happy that that 10x leverage that I had, along with a few others, but the 10x leverage especially, has given me 10 times the difference. Right, so it's worth being patient, and I talked about this before as well, right? I exited at $76,000 and I re-entered the market all on automatic, autopilot, whatever you want to call it, right? Without lifting a finger, at 98,470, currently sitting at 101.5 or something, right? Matthew, my brother, what's up, my brother? So currently 101, right? That gives me a difference of around $3,000. Now, when you do a 10x, you got to multiply the $3,000 by 10, right? Factor of 10. So if you do that, just for the sake of it, salam, my brother. Nice to see you from Dubai, SM. Nice, 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 my brother. So when you see that, right? So it's like you got 3K, multiply that by 10, that's a 10x trade. And I'm just talking about the 10x one. I'm going to talk about the other crazy ones that I've did today. But 10x, right? So that every it went up by 3 grand. So that means I've just made 30 grand, right? Profit. Now when you multiply the actual volume, things get out of hand, right? And this is what I was trying to say, that I could focus on not making the 20k because I exited at 76k, but I don't really care because I'm going to make a lot more when I hit the $98,470. And it's not something that I've just come up with randomly a few days ago. Guys, you guys are on Discord, you guys are on YouTube, all of you guys have seen my messages and you've seen my stance, you've seen where I stand, you've seen my strategy, and you've seen my discipline. You witnessed my discipline, right? I said, that's it, I'm going to get out, and I got out. I said, this is when I'm going to get in, and I waited patiently, and this is exactly when I got in. So all of you, my brothers, I hope all of you are doing well. Remember, fear, greed, these are just byproducts, right? These are just byproducts of the hypes and the FUDs, right? Because not fear doesn't exist if there's no FUD, right? Think about it, right? And also, greed doesn't also exist unless there's some hype, right? So these two are byproducts. But if you take both of them away, but if you take the FUD away, if you take all the greed, like all the hype away, all the noise, I call it noise, right? One word for both of them, right? You take the noise away from the market, things look so much more different, because then all you're relying on is just the candle and just the forecast that you're getting from your stochastic RSI, from your RSI, from your MACD, or from whatever indicator you like, your most favorite indicator. That's all you get. You know what I mean? Things are kept so simple. Things just, I don't know what to say, but it's just so simple. Do you know what I mean? So here we are, unprepared, right? Desi Rider was messaging something. I was like, you want live? It was like, yeah, why not? Right, there you go. Right, we'll just freestyle it. So I'm freestyling right now. I did not open my charts until we literally went live. So now the chart's open. So it just took a bit of time. Chart's open. We're currently at $101,100. I don't really care. I have a nice little trailing stop behind it. So if it drops by a few percent, I'm out. Do you know what I mean, right? But I'm also understanding that right now the push is not going to end because the market's going to try and hit that all-time high. So the most significant level for us now, right? So things have changed, right? Is the 103. $103,000. That's a significant level for us. That's where we could potentially face some resistance. Now, if we smash through that, 109 is nothing. Because remember, 109, I know it's the all-time high. Yes, we did hit that number, but we did not close the candle there, right? Even if we close like a 4-hour, 12-hour, even a daily, that's not significant. The significant number is the weekly number. We did not close a weekly candle at the 109 level. Now I'm looking at the weekly. Remember, I'm a big number guy. I don't care about the small stuff, right? So for me, that says like, look, we've got a big number coming. Potentially, if we can beat the 103, which is a close, and we can go and test the 109, we could potentially smash through, because 109 is not even a resistance. That's how crazy it is, right? When you start looking at the chart, and as I say all the time, perspective matters. So depends on what kind of perspective you have, right? Based on that. So for me, the way I look at it is like, okay, you know, the 103 is the resistance, 109 is just a number, it's just a wick, right? But if we go past the 103, we can actually potentially smash through the 109. How insane is that? And the best part is, right, once we pass through the 109, right, and I'm going to just quickly tell you the exact specific number, right? So the resistance is at 103,442, $103,000. Let's just say that. And then we have the high at 109, which is, as I said, it's just a blip. It's nothing, because when you're looking at a higher time frame, it doesn't matter. It just wicked over there. That's not what the resistance is. Once we go past the 109, and I've showed you guys the charts, it's published on Discord, right? We're going to 133. Remember, I've always said this, the next level above it was 103. After 103, it was 133 to 137. And I still stand by my numbers. Remember, I stand by my numbers, right? That's where we're going. Now, God willing, right? God willing, right? I'm not a religious guy, but I'll tell you this, right? God willing, if we get to the 133 to 137, that kind of a region, because I don't have a specific number, guys, because remember, the future doesn't exist, right? I don't have a freaking crystal ball. I know SM believes I have a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball. Bro, all I have is this. Is that crystal enough? If it is, then yeah, I'm going to drink some. I'm going to drink some, because I don't know. You know what I mean? This is just pure maths. And I haven't done maths in a long while, hence why I can't come back and give you some fresh numbers and this and that. Because, guys, until we hit a particular target number based on the old maths, there is no probability for us to do new maths. Because remember, these are random numbers I'm giving you. But my numbers, even though they're random, right, generated in a particular way with the method that I use, I stuck by my numbers. I have not changed my numbers. I have not changed my directions, right? I've mentioned we're still in a bull market. We haven't actually invalidated anything. So there are things you have to understand. Bull runs and bear runs can happen inside a bull market. We're still in a bull market. But I strongly believe, based on the charts, based on some of the other factors that actually surround us, when I take away the noise, I strongly believe that we're at the end of the end, right? That means it could end anytime. But I am hopeful. I do pray that we could last this all the way up to December. That would be insane, right? If we could do that, because that gives us a better chance, right? But what I was going to say is, if we get to the 133 or 137, either one of those numbers or in between that anywhere, guys, I'm just throwing a blind dart, right? Just want to hit the bullseye, right? You can say that, but my numbers don't change. So end of the day, these are my numbers. I stick by them, right? And the proof is there, and the truth is always out there. As I say, my name is Sham, this is 0xfiles, and the truth is always out there, either on Discord or on YouTube here, right? One or the other. So once we hit that, then the next target becomes $206,000. 206. I didn't go to quarter mil. I'm not throwing random numbers. Those are random numbers. I don't care about random numbers. Those are too even, right? Nature doesn't throw even numbers. Fibonacci, everything you look at, they're not even numbers. Nature's very random, but it also throws out these odd numbers, which are very specific. I'm a man of nature. I don't have a green thumb or anything, but I'm a man of nature. And I believe that this maths is based on that natural thing. So I'm not going to go too much into that one, right? But what I'm trying to say is we're going to get to 206,000. And you might end up saying, well, how and why? And I've mentioned this to you before as well. And I've mentioned it on the previous video. I specifically remember this, even though I forget half the things I say. I don't. But the way it works is, look, think about it this way, percentage. When we were sitting at $76,000, right? we had to do a certain percent, 20, 25% to get to 100K, right? Let's just say that. But now that we're at 100K, 10% takes us to 110K. It's so fast. You see what I mean? It's so fast. 110K, boom, we're there. And then don't forget compounding, right? So now we're at 110K, fine. We're going to, that's 109 basically. We shoot towards 130K. The percentage changes because from 110K to 133, it's actually not that many percentage. I know you're going to say, oh, it's a 20 grand or 23,000 difference. Actually, it's not 23%. It's not 23 grand. It's actually about 14, 15%. You see how fast things move. Once we get to 133K, well, guess what? It's the same kind of maths, the same kind of percentage, right? Give or take, takes us to $206,000. You see how fast this moves. So it's not even a parabola. That's the beautiful thing. When you start observing it, look at it in a particular perspective. It's not even a parabola. How insane is that? So you see what I mean? So once we get there, 250, half a mil, it's easy because of how the percentage works, right? Because it all compounds at the end. It all compounds, right? So I'm very positive, but at the same time, I didn't actually just jump on the video just to kind of brag about everything. And I'm not bragging, guys. Honestly, the truth is always out there, right? I'm not bragging here. I'm just giving you, stating the facts, how things work, and how your perspective also needs to balance, right? Now, there's another reason I actually came on live, right? Because, guys, we are all going to make money. We're all going to make a shit ton of money. In fact, I could have made a lot more money when I was at 76K, when I exited at 76K, right? I could have made a ton of money, but I didn't. Right? Because I'm not too fussed down there. I wanted to be more confident on what my move is going to be. Hence why I chose 98,400 to be my entry level. That's why I entered here. Right? But at the same time, I am going to suggest again to all of you guys, as I always do, right? You're getting, this is a gift, right? This is a gift. BTC or the crypto sphere is giving a gift right now. Whales are giving us a gift. Manipulators are giving us a gift. But they could change their minds. And if they do, you need to have a stop loss right there. Yes, you got it, my brother. You got it, SM, right? You have to lock those profit. And it's got nothing to do with your loss. Right now, you're probably not even in a loss. You're probably in a positive, right? Most people in BTC, if they entered back in 2022, right? Most people, if they entered back in 2022, if most people who followed me from way back in 2020 or 2021, we all knew when to enter. We all entered below the $19,800. So that technically puts everybody in profit. You're all in green. I don't know about the other shit coins, right? And the meme coins and whatnot. I'm not even interested in them. I've exited them, right? And I have a few that are never going to recover because they're just shit coins. But in BTC, in ethereum, right? BTC, ethereum, and a few more blue chips, including Solana, right? I don't want to forget my Solana, right? We're all in green. So if we're in green, now is another opportunity to start locking those profits down. Okay, fine. You don't want to exit, don't exit. But as we progress up, move your stop loss up, right? Or have a trailing stop, whatever strategy suits you. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you any financial advice. You do whatever you want to do ultimately, right? Let me have a sip. Yeah, I needed that. So look, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do what you need to do, right? But what I'm saying is it's an opportunity. But when these opportunities come, when these green candles come, when your phone starts pinging, when your laptop starts shooting, right? And everyone's excited. When social media explodes, right? People lose control. Do not lose control. I want you all to be in absolute control. You're in control. You're the boss. You make that decision, right? So start making those decisions, plan ahead, right? And move forward. So for me right now, even with my stop losses that I have, a very small percentage, as I said, I wouldn't really lose anything. In fact, what I've done, I've moved it to break even. So right now at 101, it's moved up to break even. That means that if the market shifts, I break even. So I haven't lost anything, which is great. So that means I haven't lost a penny of my money. If we move up, then whatever it, even now, like we shoot up, then I can still lock some in. It's not going to be much, but I can lock some in. However, if I decide I can actually start taking some of my profits off the table right now. You see what I mean? So I could take some money off the table right now. It doesn't make any difference, right? Because I want to be in control. So other than that, guys, I know I've been going on quite a bit, kind of lecturing all of you guys. I'm not here for that. Let me know what's going on. How are you guys? I mean, it's been an absolute while since I've had a few of you guys on a live stream, and I know, like, I just don't have the time. I've just been so busy with so many different things. In fact, I was talking to someone today, this lovely elderly lady, and I know her son basically, right? And we're talking and kind of just I don't know, comparing, not comparing, but connecting is the right word, right? This fella's kind of like the guy I know. He's kind of gone through a similar situation as me in the past couple of years, and we're just connecting. And one of those kind of things, like you go to the moon, right? You're almost there to the moon, and then you fall down, and things just, like, get to the point where you don't know, you can't see the light anymore, right? But then you get your courage and you get up, and even probably a bit of luck as well, and you start changing certain things, right? And you get on the grind, right? And that's what I've been doing, getting on the grind, right? So when you get on the grind, things just change very fast, very fast. Things move very fast. So if you don't take control of it, if you don't catch it, you're gonna miss it. So for me, I just went head first, dived in, right, without looking. I was like, right, I don't care, right? I need to get back to the level I was, right? Because when things change, and I'm being cryptic, I am being cryptic, but that's because not many people know my story, and I'm not here to tell you my story. Maybe one day I'll sit down and I'll tell you my story. Maybe, yeah, I'll do a live stream one day and tell you my entire story of what's happened, but this is not this day. Today we're celebrating. So let me know, are you in profit? Let me know in the comments, or on the live. Let me know how you feel. What do you think the market's doing? And did you set up some stop loss? Because if you haven't set up some stop loss, I don't know what to say. Because there's a time when I'm not going to say anything, guys. I'm going to stop one day. I'm going to stop talking about stop loss, right? Because what's going to happen is, as I evolve, and I'm evolving, right? As I evolve in this crypto sphere, because look, I've been here a decade now. Bang on a decade. Next month is a decade. You know that. I've been in crypto a decade, right? So I think I'm experienced enough, right? But I'm evolving. I'm evolving as the market evolves, from the 200-300 coins that we had to 2,000-3,000 coins. By the end of 2017, we had like 2,000-3,000 coins, right? And then 2021, we had, like, I don't know, 8,000-9,000 coins or 10,000 coins. And now we have like a few million coins, right? I'm evolving similar way. I'm learning in similar ways. And there's going to be a point where stop loss won't even matter, right? That's how I'm evolving. But at the same time, I'm also evolving my mindset, the way I think, the way I kind of perceive the market. And kind of right now, with my good and bad situations and all the stuff that's happened to me, life experiences basically, right? I've got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I can't just go blind, right? All in, right? Absolute insanity. Yeah, because that's what I've been doing, right? It's all in or nothing, right? And yeah, I've paid the price for being stupid most of the time. But I've come to a point where I'm getting older. Do you know what I mean? I'm bloody on YouTube. I'm 5 years older, right? So I'm 5 years older in YouTube. So think about that, right? So for me, it's getting to the point where it's like, do you know what? I'm not employable. There's a few things I won't do. I really can't do anything, and I'm talented in a few other bits and bobs. So maybe I need to start focusing on my life more, or my retirement more. You know what I mean? So I've started doing that, and I'm not promoting anything here, but ultimately, guys, I say to everybody, doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, think about what happens when you don't have a job. Think about what happens when you don't have you get to the point where you don't want to do anything, or you can't do anything. Think about that, because that's where I am right now. That's my evolution, right? So I've come to that point and I'm like, well, I've only got a few more years left, right? I don't know if I want to do certain things. What do I want to do, right? So, and I am kind of bored. So for me, like, my exploration is like, okay, try different things. And I was involved in the building industry, construction industry, way back in 2008 to 2016. So I did that for about 8 years, mostly contract work and this and that. So I've kind of gone back into that, but I'm still looking for my niche and my kind of my hobby, let's just say, right? There are things that I'm really passionate about, and there are things that I'm not. There are things I'll do just for the money, right? So if it pays well, I'll just do that. However, there are things that I will passionately do, and it's not about the money. All right, I will put the hours in because that's what I want to do. So I'm kind of just exploring, seeing what kind of excites me the most, and if it does, then that's the direction I want to go, and I want to invest my time into that and my money into that as well. Actually, not my money, because my time mostly. Money, I want the money to work for me, right? So yeah, we're all going to make money. We all have made money, but it's a matter of perspective, as I always say. We got to start thinking about making the money work for us. So I'm starting to think about how I'm going to make the money work for us, rather than basically me working for the money. So I want to give my time to my passion, and my hobby, or something, that I enjoy, something that excites me, and I can prolong that, go to the future, even do it in retirement if I have to. Maybe focus more on YouTube and whatnot. And I'm talking about doing something different on YouTube. So I'm not sure, should I do it on the 0xfiles, or should I create a new channel, or should I rebrand this? I don't know, right? But if I am going to do something on YouTube, I don't want to just talk about crypto. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to talk about aliens and conspiracies and whatnot, right? Or the government conspiracies. I don't want to talk about those things, right? What I would love to do is showcase some of the stuff, do a whole new stuff. Do you know what I mean? Something that will excite people as well, because that you'll be going on this exploration with me. Do you know what I mean? On this journey, right, with me, because this was a journey. This is a journey, by the way. So for me, this past 10 years in crypto has been a journey. And I've originally, as I said, it was with a small group of people the journey started, right? And then obviously when things got out of control, too many phone calls and whatnot, we started doing YouTube. So again, on YouTube, 5 years, coming up to 6 years, or 5 years now, right, on YouTube. So again, it's a journey, and a lot of you guys have been here from day one. Bubble has been here from day one. KR's been here from like almost day one as well. So KR, day one, and then SM, right? A few other guys here. I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys here. Matthew's been here for some time as well now. So there's a lot of people who have been part of this family with me on this journey, and it's our journey. Do you know what I mean? And we're gonna go as far as it takes us, but I'm also trying to kind of say, you know what, that's going to take us to a certain level, but at that stage, things are going to change, like laws and other stuff, regulations and whatnot. Things will start to change. I mean, cbdc, I'm still waiting for that to come, because it's already active as far as I'm concerned. And now we know in the UK, for example, they are starting to snoop into your account and this and that, and trying to see where the money's coming and going and this and that, and they're being more restrictive. So we're getting to that point where basically we're not even going to be allowed to spend more than what they want us to spend. You know what I mean? We can't invest unless we're whatever, right? And it already happens. Like, you can't invest in certain companies and businesses if you're not an accredited investor, right? So you have to be accredited. Well, I mean, what the hell is this? If you got money, you're going to go and throw money down, right? So people are coming out with new stuff. New investment firms are coming out, new strategies for investment. I've just spoken to someone that they started this equity thing, right, where they're buying multiple businesses. You like invest into businesses. Yeah, great, but that's not my kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to invest into someone else's business. I want to invest into something that I know is my business. Does that make sense? So I just looked at it, I was like, yeah, it's great. The returns are great, right? You make like 6, 7%, 8% a year, more than the bank. Great, right? But if I invest in my own thing, I think that's a lot more. But I do, it's just one of those kind of things. So I'm kind of thinking ahead, and I'm like, okay, there are certain things I want to do. So of course I've been, kind of busy investing in multiple places. But again, this is not that video, right? I'm not going to talk about any of those stuff. But yeah, I mean, just one of those kind of thing. It just, I think it's age, guys. I think it's age. I don't know. Tell me, what do you think? I don't know. Is it age or whatever? I don't know. But I just feel like there's so much more out there. There's so much more out there. that and Desi, where's Desi? Desi's not here. But there's so much more out there that everyone should go and explore, right? You should all go and explore. You might have a hidden talent, man. I don't know, you know. I am kind of a jack of all trades, right? Master of none, right? Obviously. But there are things that excite me, there are things that don't excite me. One thing that does excite me quite a bit is anything to do with building work. I do enjoy it, um, because there's no two properties that are the same, no two walls that are the same, or floor or a ceiling. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable, right? And that takes a lot of detail to complete. So yeah, I'm kind of doing it. Here's the crazy part: I'm doing it solo. I'm actually doing it solo, so it's not like I'm in a team or anything. I mean, I have worked alongside a team, but I'm not in a team. I'm just doing it solo, doing it on my jacks, right? And yeah, it's nice. I've had a few projects, and I did publish them on the channel, or kind of like few segments, few minutes or seconds here and there. But I don't record all the time. But I am thinking about it. I do have uh, one of these what do you call these action cameras now, fully charged and ready to go. I'll probably start doing some time lapse or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's just getting into this, and maybe I could showcase some of the stuff that I am doing. As I said, I'm still thinking, I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, what a journey, man. 5 years on YouTube. Actually longer, but 5 years here on this channel. And I appreciate all of you guys that have stuck with me, have been patient with me, because some people have said I'm bipolar, right? I'm hot and cold. But guys, I'm not, to be honest. I've just had bad experiences in life, situations, bad situations. I've had my ups, 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 and then I've had one fall that almost destroyed everything. Do you know what I mean? So it's been tough. I'm a real person, end of the day. I'm not going to act as if I didn't, have a situation, or everything's all jolly. I'm not here to fake it for you guys on YouTube. Nah, that's not me. I'm not here to fake it till I make it. Uh, SM says, don't you find it physically demanding being in construction at this age? Yes, it is physically demanding. But saying that with no, physically demanding, yes, definitely. But construction wise, I'm not doing the heavy lifting stuff. I'm not doing construction, right? I've got a list of things that I just won't touch, right? For example, I know how to do plumbing, I just won't touch plumbing, right? I know how to do electrics, but I just won't do it unless I have a qualified engineer who's supervising me for legal reasons. I won't do electric, but I know how to do electrics, right? So that's that, for example. Um, Other stuff, anything that's too demanding, muscle wise, too demanding, I won't do, to be honest. I just won't do. But yeah, light duties and this and that I do. But for me, my passion lies in like custom work, right? So when someone asks me, oh, can you come in, like, I'll give a good example, simple thing, right? Somebody wanted decking, and I posted that, right? They just wanted some decking, right? So they said, right, look, I've got this space here, it looks kind of dead, we've put a container in the garden and it looks bad, right? Because the container looks bad, right? That's their storage, by the way. So they're like, look, we want to do a few bits and bobs inside to make it, practical, because it's just a complete dump right now. But at the same time, when people come in to the garden or look at the garden, it's an eyesore. So can we do something? I was like, yeah, fine. So did a decking. There's nothing. It's common, right? Everybody does a bit of decking in the garden. It's common. But for me, that was a bit of a custom work, because you don't put decking in front of a container connecting it to the house. But you did that and kind of spruce it up with a bit of lighting, a little bit of landscaping as well, like, for example, a few plant pots here and there. And nothing new, most of it was already there. But just redoing that, I mean, the person who I did it for, his missus was over the moon. She was advertising me to everybody, and I was like, look, calm down, calm down. I don't do this for, I'm not a gardener, so don't go around advertising me like this, because people are going to assume I'm a gardener or something. I'm not. And then she's like, you're a builder. I was like, I'm not a builder either. I'm just a decorator, right? Interior decorator. who would do certain things in a particular way. So that's me anyway. So I did that, and yeah, I mean, off the back of that, I got a whole bunch of other commissions, I should say. Some I have taken pictures, some I haven't taken pictures. There are things that I'm proud of, and there are things that I just do for the money. Let's put it this way. So there was one where I actually took a video, and I kind of, the place was a dump, right? Right. I took a video and everything, and then I was like, I'm not gonna show this. The reason was because, first of all, it took me 2 days extra to finish the job, right? And the place was in such a bad condition that even when I finished it to the best of my ability, given 2 extra days, right? Completely like it's part of the package, right? As until the job's done, I'm not copying that because I'm very passionate about what I do. So I made sure I gave it the best finish ever. But even then, it will look so crap because of the rest of the condition of the property. So the specific job that I was given, yeah, that's done. You won't even know it was there, right? You won't even know there was a problem there. That's how fine it was. And I'm not bragging here. That's exactly how I left it, right? So I found it in a bad condition where the ceiling was falling off, the walls are damp, everything's peeling off and whatnot, right? All of that was being completely remedied and fixed and done to a high standard, right? But the rest of the property is a shithole. So what am I really going to? Because you can't point the camera and not see that. I was like, I can't do the finish on that. You know what I mean? So that's how it was. All right, guys, I have no idea. Matthew says, thanks for giving us your time and knowledge. Thank you, my brother. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. The live stream just cancelled for a second. But yeah, this is what it is. End of the day, there are some things you want to show, some things you don't want to show. Some things you're proud of when you create them, like especially when I'm doing an actual interior or even exterior as well, to the point. But when you're designing and when you're doing something quite unique, I'm passionate about those things. Carpentry. I love carpentry. Most of my tools are actually for carpentry. Yeah, I mean, here's the crazy thing, right? If I actually had a workshop, so if I had a space where I would want a workshop, right? There, see my brother. Nice to see you, my brother. Thank you for coming to the show. I did it for you, I came live for you. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, the carpentry is where I'm really, really keen on. This is what I want to really explore, right? And as I said, all my tools are mostly for carpentry. So yeah, I have a few tools for tiling and this and that, but that's from leftovers from when I did my own property. You see what I mean? So I've literally done everything in my property, so even construction in my own property. However, when it comes to other people's, I don't really do the hardcore stuff, right? It's I don't have the energy, and I just don't want to take it on board because it's a lot of pain. Um, unless the money's there, that's a different story. But most of my tools are carpentry tools. So I'm a carpentry guy, right? And that's what I like to do. So I mean, if I had a workshop or whatever, I'll be building furniture. In fact, if I had a workshop, I'll probably live stream that to you guys 24/7, or anybody, or probably create another channel and live stream it 24/7 or whatever, of me actually genuinely making stuff, because that's where I kind of enjoy the most, I would say. I have a lot of patience, so if somebody wanted like a dinner table or a tea table or whatever, and obviously, as I said, if I had a workshop, so I don't have a workshop, so don't go around commissioning anything. But yeah, I would sit there, I would spend hours. And these are the things where you would spend the time. It's not about the money, it's about the finished product, because that's where I come in, and I make a few small bits and bobs here and there. Mrs. doesn't appreciate it when I do it at home. Obviously, she doesn't like the dust and this and that. But yeah, I mean, I'm passionate about this, and this is what I do. So, I make my own little furniture, something unique, you know. So yeah, that's where I kind of shine. Let's just say it that way. So there's C. You have any questions for me, or all of you guys? Do you have any questions for me? If you do, please let me know. If not, then I'm not going to make this any longer, because we could be talking about all sorts of stuff here, from crypto to building and decorating, to life changes, the decisions in life, all the other stuff, you know. Yeah, reminiscing the 5 years on YouTube. Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna wait and see if you guys have any questions. If you do, great. If you don't, then yeah. I guess everybody wants to know, are we going up or are we going down? Well, I told you guys where we could face the resistance. 103. That's where the resistance, 103,442. That's a resistance area. According to the stochastic RSI and RSI, the pattern, I mentioned this on the previous video as well. We can see that we've got a few weeks, possibly at the end of this month. We have time, right? Because time is important. So we are seeing that signal. Nothing is showing any signs of pullbacks yet. However, black swans do exist, right? Or does happen to us. So hence why I said, like, just make sure you have a strategy, right? That worst case scenario, nothing wrong with that. So that's what it is. I'm not going to use the word, right? Because I know a lot of you guys probably get fed up of me talking about stop loss. But you know what, guys? I do it for you guys, right? I tell you guys, I remind you guys about stop losses just so that you guys could keep some more. You know what I mean? You make money, you're going to make money, you're going to lose money. Yeah, fine. If you got loads of money to throw away, by all means, right? I used to be in that position, by the way. I used to be in a position where I don't really care how much I lost because I had so much more. Didn't really care until I lost it all in a situation. And then now, every penny matters. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to pull myself out of the pit that I put myself into. And I'm doing okay. Believe me, May last year was the worst time for me. 2024 May was the worst time ever. But since then, put my head down, started doing certain things, and I'm actually almost out, right? And then the BTC strategy helped as well, because that's one thing I didn't tap into, because a lot of the time I had to tap into like BTC and crypto and this and that back in the days, right? But this particular time, I did not tap into that because I mean, many of you guys know from 2020, you guys know this, right? I used to spend money from my Ethereum. I used to live on Ethereum, literally. That was what I paid my expenses on. So a lot of that changed, right? So for me, it was like, a complete 180, is like from this to that, and no more crypto, cash only. And now, yeah, I'm quite happy. Things have changed and things look a lot better. So let's see where it goes. So other than that, I'm not going to make this any longer. I don't see any questions or anything from any of the guys here. And I think there's only one more person remaining here on the live. So I think I'm boring everyone. I don't want to bore anyone, guys. I hope you have a good day. I hope you guys set up your stop losses in. As I said, have a strategy. It doesn't matter how high of a number I give, even if I say, oh, we're going to go to 200k. Don't take that like as the absolute, right? It doesn't matter. We are going to get there at some stage, right? But right now, always play with safety because you never know, how the weather changes in UK, right? So stay safe. That's all I'm going to say. Lock in those profits, enjoy those profits, treat yourself, treat your family. You're in the crypto sphere or any kind of investment strategy that you have to make money, not to lose money. So make money, right? Try and skim some off if you made some. That's the only thing I can say as a brother. Other than that, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. So it's your money. Go and do whatever you want. And if you don't want it, you're welcome to just throw it at me. I'll happily take it. Every penny matters, as I said earlier on. I'm joking. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much to all of you guys who have come to the live. Thank you very much. Those of you who have not come to the live but are watching this later, thank you very much also for coming and viewing the video. Do hit that like button, smash the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, share with the community. If I see a lot more engagement, I'll be here more often, right? So other than that, I want to catch you guys on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos. Thank you very much.